Councilwoman Lewis, can I take it you already made your comments, or do you want to make some more?
No, I'm fine. I'm sorry I jumped ahead.
No, don't worry, I only run this operation every once in a while. Thank you very much. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and say I believe that staff's recommendation is appropriate at this point. I think that a reasonable threshold, which is pretty typical of most cities with transition, is a 70% threshold. If we could see the 70% threshold, that would be a number that I think would be appropriate, and the residents bringing back forth before us, I think that would be a reasonable solution. And as we move forward, we will also inform the residents what we're doing. So, George?
Yeah, you indicated 70%, but
Does that sound reasonable?
something anybody else would like to see?
Nobody wants to jump on a figure?
No, I don't agree with that.
Thank you.
I don't want to set a threshold at this point. I think that if, in fact, the county makes a definitive statement about property taxes, that would be influential.
Right.
Personally, I'd be surprised to see them do that, not on an individual property, but if they do, then great. And I think we should look at it with an open mind at that time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not ready to set a limit, and if the county is going to waive property taxes, I'd like to actually have extra property as well and not pay taxes on it.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and remove the threshold. And one more comment from Vice Mayor Goulet.
I also want to comment on what Linda said, because this street has been through it, and has been through it too many times. And I think that as a public body, we need to be very sensitive to that and respectful of not having to come up here before us on issues, you know, that all of us consider just finding the way to have a good quality of life and not have to constantly defend that. And so I respect that. I do have to say we can't make this permanent. You do know that, because things can change in the future, and they should be able to change.
That was Marilee's request.
Okay.
So with that clarity of no threshold, how would you like staff to mediate how this comes back to the council? We could get a letter tomorrow that you consider it again at your next meeting.
Don't all jump at this one. I don't know, I'm looking at everybody's face. I was the one that threw the threshold just to make it so it would be kind of easy to come back at a threshold.
As the city attorney just pointed out, if someone files a land use application and it gets denied, usually there's a year before they can reapply.
So should we set a mark, 3 months, readdress it? Or should we, I mean, is that a reasonable period of time?
Well, I think that the staff had said that they were going to take 3 to 4 months to put the encroachment policy together, which actually, once it's done and people read, they may say that's good enough, and that may change. So I'd like to address it when we look at the new encroachment policy. Is that reasonable to you, Mayor?
That sounds reasonable, and let's put approximately 4 months, because we hope that staff is done in 4 months.
Yeah.
So let's use the marker when the encroachment policy comes back, if that's agreeable to everybody else.
Just for clarification for me, that what we're talking about doing is saying that we will not revisit this issue until 4 months have passed.
That's correct.
The council won't proactively and staff won't proactively revisit it, but after 4 months and the encroachment permit process is now working and in force, that if the street wants to bring it back, or someone on the street wants to bring it back, then we could have the council reconsider it. That's all right.
That sounds right about right.
Okay, 4 months, that's long enough, I mean, to make sure that the encroachment policy in ordinance is actually working and people are familiar with it and comfortable with it, seeing how it can